again everyone, Boyd here with you. Well, I'm continuing on with our Mad Max diorama build. And this is just another one of the updates on it. We've been waiting for our miniature 124 scale bike to get here, and you can see we finally got it in. This came all the way from Greece, and that's pretty cool. It's made by a company called Moto Max, and it's in 124 scale. It's a diecast. Like I said, I was actually hoping to find a model kit, but I couldn't find any. Most model kits, it seems like, are 112 scale and bigger, so finding something in 124 that's was close to the subject matter we wanted to have was pretty tough. As you can see in this picture here, it's supposed to be a mid to late 70s Kawasaki KZ 1000. It's not exactly accurate, but it's close enough for our purposes here, guys. It had, you know, the bikes in the film all had the little kind of fairing there, on the mini fairing on the front. They had the large 4-cylinder engine with the chrome pipes, and they had that kind of swept up rear fender on them, reminiscent of the 70s road bikes. So this is going to serve our purposes. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to replicate this bike right here. This character in the film Mad Max was called Johnny the Boy. If you guys have seen the film, you know exactly who he is. He's kind of the main, he's somebody new that the gang is kind of breaking in, and he's the one that sets the flame to the goose at the beginning. And this same bike is used later in the movie where they have it tipped over on the side of the road, and they set a trap for Max when he stops to check it out. That's when he gets shot. So we're going to replicate this bike. You can see it's a little bit of a maroon to almost purple color there. So I've mixed up some paint. I've been working on that. It looks a little bit bright in the picture there, but once we spray it on this, it's going to darken up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to get this taken apart. We're not going to go crazy on this. We're not going to light it or anything like that. We're not going to break it up. It's just going to be tipped over on the side of the road like it was in the movie. It was actually kind of laying more out in the weeds, but our diorama is only so wide, so we're going to have it kind of on the road. But it wasn't all broken up or leaking oil or anything, so we're just going to have it tipped over. But we're going to capture some detail on this. We're going to do a little wash, I think, on the engine to maybe bring out some detail on the overall chrome parts and everything. Up here you can see the gauges aren't painted, or, you know, not much detail on it. So we can bring this alive, and we'll paint the blue parts with our maroon color. And unfortunately, we're going to lose our Kawasaki emblems there because they're silk screened onto this thing. If they were miniature decals, I would have tried to lift them off and save them, but we're not going to be able to save those. I'll probably just take a little silver marker or something and make something that looks like those emblems on there. This is really, really small. You'll barely be able to notice it, and it's mainly just serving the purpose of replicating our scene here. So okay, guys, let me get it taken apart. We'll show you the loose parts, and we'll come back after that and get it sprayed. See you in a second. So far, so good, everybody. We're back with you again, and you can see we've got the parts removed from the bike, the main pieces we wanted to change the color on here, which was the rear fender, the gas tank, the side covers, and our little fairing. And I was lucky. Sometimes these little die-cast things are glued together, so this one was just kind of pressure fit together, and it all came apart. We'll get you a little bit closer look at it. I've started to do a little bit of detail work here up on the gauges. You can see I did a little wash that kind of, you can still see the little numerals in there, and then I did the housings in black. That's all we're really going to do to the upper half of the bike here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over the whole thing, the engine and the front end here, and do a little bit of a wash on this and try to bring out some detail, guys. So I'm going to show you how we do that. I've got some basic black paint here that I started with, that I did the gauges with, and using my little brush here, I just got some thinner, and I'm using some more of this automotive paint. This is pretty much what I exclusively use, guys. Those of you wondering about the paint, it's Spieshecker. It's a German brand of paint, and it's a acrylic urethane based, solvent based paint. But anyway, I'm just taking this and getting my brush wet with some black here, and then I'm breaking it down a little bit with my thinner, just by dipping it in there and get it to where it's kind of flowing kind of good. And we're just going to do a little wash on this thing. Start doing the cylinder heads here. Kind of reach around inside these pipes if I can. I'd have liked to try to take this whole motor apart, but I didn't really, those parts look like they were kind of glued on there, so I didn't really want to risk doing that. We should be able to do a pretty decent job here and get most of the detail in there. We're just letting the paint kind of flow on that. You can already see it's making the engine look better already. Let's go over here to this side. little bit more paint. And do the same thing. Yeah, this should help this out quite a bit. Just got to get some here in the center in between the pipes. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom half of the cylinder head there. Let's highlight these carburetors just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now we'll just, we're going to paint our hand grips a solid black, so I'm just moving away from my thinner now and just going straight back to the black. I'm really having a great time working on this. I think I've said that about 20 times so far, guys, but it's really fun putting this whole thing together. Little pieces coming in one at a time. This will probably be the last update on this one until we finally get everything here. I'm still just waiting for the Mad Max figure that we got coming from Monsters in Motion, and we're waiting for the soundboard from Big Dogs that we talked about. So that should be here within the week. Or maybe towards the weekend, and when we get that in, we'll show you everything, and that'll be the final video on this. I don't want to drag it out too long for you guys, but I just thought you guys might like seeing how it all came together, kind of one piece at a time here as we got things in. And we originally planned on, like I said, doing a chase scene with the toe cutter there, but when I found the Mad Max figure on Monsters in Motion, that kind of changed everything. And I was glad we were able to find one of these bikes in this scale. Like I said, it's not too many available out there, guys. But I got it cheap. It was less than 10 bucks, so you can't beat that. That was free shipping and everything, so that's a pretty good deal. Okay, you can see we got a little bit of that detail added on there now. We've got our hand grips, a little bit more paint up here. This will turn sort of a satin to more of a satiny finish when it dries, guys. It's a semi-gloss paint. So we've got that detail added on there. Now I'm going to go back to the wash again, and I'm just going to do a little bit around the front end of the bike on the, highlight the forks and the brake rotor and all that. Try to make that pop a little bit more. Pretty good coat. Now we're just going to kind of go back to our thinner here and just break this down a little bit. Get rid of a little bit of this paint. I've got a towel just off to the side here, guys, and I'm just wiping it off my brush and just removing this stuff a little at a time. I'm mainly looking for it to just stay in the the recessed areas there. Okay, let's zoom in on that for you here just a little bit. Or I can just do that by hand. Hopefully you can see that brought that to life a little bit more. It definitely gave it some more definition. So let's finish up on this other side here, just get this one toned down just a little, and we'll call it done with the main chassis of the bike. And then we're going to head over to the spray booth and paint our parts. Change that over to that kind of more maroonish color I was talking about that we showed you from the screenshot there. Well, we're back with you again. We got our parts painted and everything put back together. I think we got a pretty good representation here of Johnny the Boy's Kawasaki KZ 1000 from Mad Max. It's pretty close, guys. It's not exact, but I think we captured a lot of the detail. I modified a few more things in between the painting here after looking some more at this picture I have of the bike from the film. You could see here on the rear of the bike that we have some chrome plating on the shock absorbers and the rear sprocket, and that rear fender is sort of shaved off. So I went and did that little detail on there, and then I shaved off the lower hanging part of the fender that you'll see if you go back and look at the beginning that it had. And then we got rid of that huge made in China stamp that was there on the side of the muffler, so we shaved that off. And then up here at the front, I removed the braces on the front fender. You can see in the picture here that they're not present on that bike, so we got rid of those as well. And all that little detail we did here kind of paid off. I did my best to sort of put the insignias on the side of the tank and the side cover with a silver Sharpie and a black marker. Did the best I could. Those are really small. Just wanted to kind of make them look like they were there. And in 1/24 scale, you won't really be able to tell that much. So I think it turned out pretty good, guys. A little bit of work, and we turned this thing into what we were looking for. I think it'll pass for Johnny the Boy's bike. So what we're going to do, guys, we'll take it inside and set it onto the rest of the diorama and check out how it all kind of came together. Be back with that in just a second. All right, we're back inside, everybody, and we've set the bike on top of the diorama, so let's take a look at how it looks on here. I think it fits in pretty good, guys. It's in scale with the car, like we were hoping. I was kind of fiddling around with where I wanted to put it. We're only dealing with a 10x10 top on this, so we don't want to get it too cluttered and all that, but we've got pretty much all the detail except for the Mad Max figure now put in. And the bike looks pretty cool. I just kind of laid it on its side here, half off the road, and sprinkled a little bit of our gravel around it. But I think it fits right in, guys, so that looks pretty sweet. You can see here that I also added this little sign. I was able to get a screen grab right out of the film towards the end when Max is driving away into the no man's land area after he's finished off the toe cutter, and I made that little sign out of printing that off of a snapshot from the film onto my computer and shrinking it down, and then I cut out some styrene and mounted it on there and made the little pole, did a little bit of rust on it and stuff like that. I think that fits the part pretty good too. So this is looking really good. It's coming together just like I hoped. It's been fun showing these little segments of everything coming together as we get this stuff in here. And we'll come back with a finale on this, guys, a final wrap up. Once we get the Mad Max figure, we'll show you the painting of that one, and we'll show you the soundboard when we get that here, and we'll show you how to program the soundboard. We're going to put some sounds right out of the film onto that we can push with our two control buttons there, and we'll show you how that whole process works, and then getting it mounted into the diorama for the finish of this thing, guys. So that should be pretty cool. Should be about a week or so before we get everything in here and get a chance to get at that. So until then, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for the comments, everybody. We really appreciate that. And until we see you next time, everybody, take care and happy modeling.